Hello, everyone. Sorry, I was having microphone issues. I didn't know about it. The microphone I got went out. Uh, so the video today, if there was no audio on the video yesterday, I am totally sorry. I had no idea. I didn't listen back to it. But anyway, the video today I wanted to do is going to be on siblings. Uh, Now, hopefully, it works and you can hear it. Uh, I had three siblings of my own. I had a brother who's about 20 something years older than me, a sister who's about 15 or so years older than me, another sister who's 8 years older than me. Uh, my brother, he passed away, I believe, in 2013. He had heart problems. I think stuff that happened in the Gulf War. He was in the reserves. He went in there in Vietnam, but he stayed in the reserves, and I think that's what wound up happening to him. That the I know he was fighting for disability due to the pills they were giving him for chemical warfare. The government claimed there was no issues with him, and the veterans claimed there was. And I think they finally won that, and he got disability. But I think it affected his heart, and that's what he wound up dying from. My other sister, she's not very. She's still alive. She's not, but we're not just not very close. There was a lot of issues that happened uh, during the course of the last 20 years. She's never been super empathetic to people. Even her own son says that. Um, what happened was that they did, her and my brother-in-law, who has passed, did help me out when I got laid off from my one job. I paid him back. I was paying him back uh, for some money I borrowed, and I was continuing paying them back as much as I could when I could. Uh, I had a wreck which totaled my car during that same period. I paid, got in. He helped me. My brother-in-law helped me get a different vehicle, which I paid back to them. So I still owed them some money they loaned me for uh, when I got laid off, and I was paying them back for that. And I'm still paying. I was paying like $100 or two. I owed them like probably $1,000, and so I was paying on it, and well, what happened was I went over there. They invited, they always invited me for Christmas, and the thing about Christmas, always tell each other, we don't get us anything. Just come over for dinner and say hi, and socialize, that kind of thing. Well, they wound up getting me something, and they got me a fire tablet, which I told my sister, oh, I already bought one. It was like $50 off Amazon during the deal. So it pissed her off, and she took me to the side and said something like to the effect that I should have used that $50 to help pay off what I owe them. I said, well, it was just a $50 item. It was Christmas, and I just wanted to get myself something. That's all I got, and I was kind of taken aback. I was pissed. I was like, I I am paying you back, but I doesn't mean I can't live. That every spare dime I have goes back to you. I mean, I will buy something here and there. I mean, I don't buy a lot. Uh, the stuff you see behind you is stuff that I collected for a long time, and most of it was clearance. I got for pretty cheap. And a lot of it's old. Some of those books are from the 80s. Um, but I'm not a big buyer of stuff. So had every intent of paying them back. I'm not a freeloader, and but it's just paying them, just like a monthly payment, and that really made me upset. I uh, When there were some things my sister had done in the past, which I appreciated them helping me out. That was amazing, and I was glad they did it. And I had, like I said, I'm not a freeloader, not a bum. I had every intention of paying every dime of it back. But I turned around and uh, after that, after she said that at Christmas time, I left and I never went back. I was never invited back either. There were some things she did in the past that I felt wrongly, wrongly accused of kind of being of a bum that I don't pay back, pay it back. Uh, there was a job offer that I got that I passed a test for the uh, state of Illinois telecommunicator exam, which was basically a dispatch job. I turned around, I passed the test. I wanted to use that test to go back down south because there was a station in Olin. It was a small state police station. This station was where a friend of the family worked, and I thought that'd be a great place to learn because there's hardly anything there. Nothing really goes on, and I could learn at my own pace. Plus, I'd be down south, I'd be close to one of my friends, and it's cheaper down there to live. And I thought, well, it'd be a great place to go. And but they didn't have any openings at the time that I passed it. Uh, so I was just gonna wait. You have 1 year to wait and decide. So I said, I was working at Circuit City at the time. I thought, well, I'll keep working here, and then when an opportunity arises there, then I'll go to it. If something doesn't open up, then I'll just have to take something. But I was going to wait. Everything told me, every fiber in my being told me to wait. And so my sister and the friend of the family kept pushing me to take the opening it was in Collinsville, Illinois. It's one of the busiest districts the state police has. I did not want to do that. I knew that was just, something told me don't do it. It'll be a disaster. Don't do that job. Wait, hold on, and wait. And they just kept pestering me about it and pestering me and bugging me and pestering me. And I finally just gave in. I just got tired of being bugged, and so I took the job. And not even a few months after I took it, 9/11 happened. You have 1 year to train for this position. If you do not think they can train you, if they think they can't train you within 1 year, then you're out the door. I know it sounds like a long time, but you should see the book, the training book. It was, it was huge. I can't even tell you. And I also was a dispatcher who was from a local district that got hired there. Well, we were like 5 months in, 6 months, and they took me in the office and said, "We're not going to be able to finish your training." I said, "What's that mean?" They said, "Well, we're going to have to let you go." I said, "Well, it's only 6 months in. It doesn't matter. We're not going to be able to finish it. So we're going to have to let you go." And they let me go, which they also let that dispatcher guy go. He went back to his job at Pontoon Beach, being the police dispatcher there. But I wound up lucky enough to get my job back in Circuit City, and the friend of the family called and apologized, just up and down, saying how sorry she was she pushed me into taking that position. I said, well, there's nothing I could do about it now, but my sister never apologized, never said, hey, I'm sorry, I made the wrong call, I should have let you wait. Nothing. Um, that was one example, and I'm sorry I'm going on a long tangent about my one sister. It's just we have a very long history. Um, I used to do a lot of things for my sister when we moved up here. I helped her take care of my mom when my mom was ill with ALS. I would go after work and help take care of her. I kept my nephew when he was little. I watched him. I would house sit constantly. Watch the dog and stuff like that while they took trips. after my mom passed. I think they took more money than, for my mom. That I didn't. I got some money from it, but I think they took a lot more. They took a trip to Disneyland. I wasn't invited. They used my mom's money for that. Um, they built onto their house, which they said they needed to do because my niece needed a place to stay when my mom moved in permanently. And so I think a lot of that money my mom had from selling our house down south, and the money my mom had saved from when my dad got laid off, not laid off, but he had to leave medical reasons for drinking. He got cirrhosis of the liver. So anyway, there were some things between us, and I've kind of felt as like, the money that they did loan me. Like I said, I never asked them ever in my life for a dime. That was the first time. That's because I got laid off. I didn't know what to do, and I never asked them for money before. Like I said, if they needed help, I always come over and help them. Um, you know, I tried to be a good brother and family member, and so anyway, after that, we didn't talk or see each other for 3 years. I was never invited again for Christmas or Thanksgiving or anything like that. So I basically stayed by myself. Um, after I had an incident where I wound up in the psych ward for 3 days. My nephew came, got me, and brought me home, and we had a long talk, and it was about my sister. And he said, "I just want to let you know, that my mom is not empathetic." Because when I was going through some really rough times, I called her. I told her that, you know, my therapist said, "Yeah, call your sister and let her know that you're going through a rough time, family." And I did. I said, "I'm going through a rough time. I had some suicidal thoughts." And my therapist said it might be a good idea to call you, maybe patch things up and get back on a good foot. And she just acted like she didn't care. And that hurt big time. But and then after the long talk with my nephew told me, he said, "I'll just let you know, my mom is not empathetic at all. She does not care about your problems." Uh, he said when growing up, she never hugged him really, and never said she loved him. In fact, she kind of, because I always told him, I said, "I think your mom looks down on me as a disappointment because I never really went anywhere in my life." You know, she. The thing about my sister is that she only got to where she was by marrying my brother-in-law. Uh, she had divorced, and she was going through a really rough time. Uh, she didn't know what to do. Uh, the thing that saved her was that she got, you know, married to my brother-in-law, who was a bricklayer and made really good money. So they built a home here, and they have a really nice home, and he, was able to buy nice cars and stuff like that. She worked, as a secretary at a high school, so she had money. So they had a pretty good life. My nephew used to get, you know, tons of toys and stuff. I never got that kind of stuff for Christmas. If I got something nice, it was one item and that was it. Because my mom couldn't afford it. She was a single mother and she didn't have a lot of money. But it was that kind of thing that caught me off guard. That made me think that we both have issues in the past. I did something that was wrong. I should have corrected it. I should have done something. But there was also some things that you have done that made my life a little bit more difficult. And I try to get her to forgive me. She didn't invite me to my brother-in-law's memorial. I wound up going anyway. She was kind of shocked I was there. Um, when my sister passed, my other sister, uh, she was cremated, and she took my sister's ashes down to where my mom was born. That was her wish, to have her ashes buried next to my mother. She never told me a thing about this, and I was really heartbroken because stuff like that is when you have closure. Because I was already feeling guilt over my sister. I'll explain that in just a second. This is going to be a little bit longer video, but um, also too, my uncle passed away, and I didn't know about it. And she went to the memorial, to this funeral, never told me anything. Said, called him and said, hey, Uncle Dick passed away. Do you want to go, to the funeral? And I wasn't invited to the memorial for my brother-in-law. Um, I think, pretty much cut ties with me. Which, when I was an introvert before my own sister died, I didn't care. Now that my one sister is gone, my brother's gone, I care. So I asked her to forgive me. I made some mistakes, and if she could forgive me, you know, we're family. We're the only two left. She said, "Oh yeah, yeah." It was kind of like not a heartfelt forgiveness. Um, so, like I said, my nephew, we had a long talk, and like I said, he basically said she's not very empathetic to people that don't expect it. Empathy at all, you're not going to get it. Uh, that she only considers my niece, her one daughter from her first marriage, the best, uh, because she was good at everything. She wound up being upper management at Google, I think he said, and her husband's the vice president of a company there, and they make loads of money. They're really well off, and so he says, yeah, my mom compares me to her all the time. That I'm not high in my company. That I'm not president yet. That she lives in a house that she doesn't think is great. That they should live in the town we live in, and that area is not good and like that. So we had a long talk about stuff like that, which I didn't know, that part of it, because I guess I'm not wasn't with her all the time. I know she had problems in the past being empathetic uh, for things, and it was always me and my sister. It was battle. Me and my other sister, I'm gonna talk to her about her just a bit. She had a problem where I think she had mental health problems as well. I think most of us did in our family, we just didn't really know it, and she wound up always getting into the wrong elements and crowds, and she would steal money. She stole from her mom. She'd run off to places and stuff like that. But my mom, loved her. Just loves her daughter. And so when she put the house down south in my name, her name and then my name, she said, if something happens to me, just make sure your sister, Connie, has a place to stay. And my sister wound up moving to Springfield, Illinois. And that's where she wound up getting COVID. And at first they thought they were treating it. And she got pneumonia in her lungs from it and passed away. Which that's a guilt on me for not going into more details of her health issues. And I keep thinking I could have done more, and I feel good. That's a guilt I'll carry to my grave. Therapists and stuff say it's not my fault, but Deep down, I think it is. I should have done more. That's my sister. But I was, like I said, I was in the introvert stage. I think when she passed, that's when everything, all my issues with my mental health really spiked, and all the problems I've had going forward. So the point of this video is not just me rambling about my family life, and like I said, I didn't talk about my brother too much because my brother was he was an introvert like me. Me and him was alike in many ways. Uh, he I didn't know him growing up. My sister told me that he would live in the basement. At the house we had in St. Louis, he didn't want to go out. She had to drag him out to go places. Uh, I had to drag him and beg him to take me when he come visit when I was, like 13, 12 to go see movies. Because we didn't have a theater in Carroll. Someone had to take you to Cape to watch a movie or Paducah. Um, so he did not like to eat in restaurants. He did not like to watch people eat. He didn't like visitors. I kind of shocked he got married again. The person he married wound up embezzling money. The first time uh, she embezzled, the person she embezzled from told her that, hey, as long as you pay me back, we're square, and I won't take this in any legal matters. So they had come over to my mom. First time they ever been over there is when we lived in first moved up here, not too long after that, and asked. I guess they want to talk to her in private, and they asked her for money to help with that. My mom said no. So my brother got very angry and left, and they wound up really building a new house and all that. And my one sister said she's embezzling again, and I said, "What makes you think that?" And I said, "All this, they're driving a nice car. You can build a new home." And excuse me, just a second here. Sorry. Pause this. I'm trying to learn this. I'm sorry. I'm new to this and trying to learn it. I'm old. I'm an old man. So uh, and there's no way to pause it. So bear with me. Sorry. Uncut, unscripted. That's what you get. But like I said, she wound up doing it again. This time, the guy wasn't so lenient, and she spent a year in a federal prison for embezzlement. And he waited for her. And I have a great nephew from them. I've only seen like one or twice. My one nephew, I don't see him very much. They never invite me over or anything like that either. Uh, so what it is this video is about talking about my family. I'm sure, excuse me again, everybody has their own issue with family, but when it comes down to the nitty gritty, what I'm trying to say here in this video is that if you have parents and siblings, try to if you're in the younger age and it's not too bad, and you do have some problems with them, make amends. Even older age too. Uh, if you're always get a call from mom and don't answer it, and say, "Oh, mom calling me again," don't answer it. Talk to your mom. You know, talk to your dad if they're still alive. Uh, they won't be, and then you'll regret not talking to them when they called. Same thing I did with my one sister. So if you have siblings, if there is an issue, try to mend it. At least try. You can reach out and you can say, "Hey, I tried. I'm sorry I get a little emotional, but it's family. But try to reach out to them. Try to get to be close. If you're already close, that's awesome. Uh, you should do that. That's family. Nothing, because blood is thicker than water, as they say, and that's the way it should be. So, like I said, that's the point of this video is not just talking about me and my family problems or family problems, past tense, but also to help people that's having family problems now deal with them now while they're here. When they're gone, it's too late. I can't make amends to people when they're gone. And so, maybe in the afterlife you can say I'm sorry, but it's hard to say. But anyway, I'm going to end this video. It's gone too long. I just wanted to say that this got on my mind today, and I needed to talk about it. And I hope this headset and microphone was working okay. My other one kind of went kabooey. But anyway, have a good Sunday and a good week. I'll try to get back on and talk about something else maybe. If you like my videos, thank you. If you comment, thank you. Good or bad, it doesn't matter. I've gotten some in my past online. I've gotten some really bad, about my looks and stuff like that. So yeah, it's okay. I know I'm fat. Call me a fat guy. Call me a fat guy. I'm fat. Um, call me ugly. I've been called ugly. So, if you make positive comments, like the video, awesome. Negative comments, I've heard them and I've been there. And so, anyway, it's just if you're watching them, thank you. I appreciate it. Anybody who watches it. And I hope, really, and I do hope everybody out there has a great day. Thank you and goodbye.